Buddhism's golden rule: our mind is the source of our suffering. If something is unpleasant and we're struggling to deal with it, we should blame our minds. Our minds are responsible for how we feel about everything. We can easily create unpleasant situations out of nothing. Our minds are incredibly powerful, and we must never forget this. The interesting thing is that if our minds create our suffering, they can also, therefore, relieve our suffering. In Buddhism there is a systematic way to overcome mental anguish. This is called the Four Noble Truths and is the core structure to the whole philosophy. It looks something like this. The first noble truth states that there is suffering in existence. To be alive, we will experience suffering in a variety of different ways. Life equals suffering. This suffering can come in many forms, from overthinking a conversation to dealing with actual physical discomfort. You might have made a joke at work that wasn't very funny and can't stop analyzing if it was funny or not. This is suffering. It doesn't always have to be stepping on a tack painful for us to experience anguish. The second noble truth explores why we suffer. The main reason for our suffering is through desire. This can be broken down further into craving, greed and ignorance as the source of our problems. A craving for material objects or for situations to be different can cause big issues for us. In fact, not accepting how things really are, often referred to as ignorance in Buddhism, can be massively problematic. I find this aspect of the second noble truth particularly interesting. Our minds are so powerful, and often we make things worse than they need to be by labeling events bad, disastrous or awful when they really aren't. Our minds can be our own worst enemy and make things far more miserable than they need to be. Focusing on negativity increases our suffering and makes our lives difficult. I've wasted so much time worrying about stupid things and have caused more suffering than was needed on many occasions. This is totally self-inflicted and unnecessary. The third noble truth highlights that suffering can be overcome. There is hope in the darkness, and there is a way for us to rid our lives of suffering. The fourth and final noble truth outlines a path to overcome suffering. This is the solution and is presented in a series of practical steps. These steps are referred to as the Eightfold Path and give us a variety of ways to achieve enlightenment or freedom from suffering. This is essentially a series of guidelines to follow in order to live a balanced life. Things like becoming conscious of the way we speak to others, the way we think, the way we view the world and our actions are all covered in detail in the Eightfold Path. This is also where you will find a big emphasis on meditation and being present. By meditating, we are focusing on the present moment and are becoming aware of the sensations around us. Experiencing things as they truly are, without labeling them in any way, shows us another side of reality, pure experience and sensation. Things aren't so bad, it's all these labels we give events that seem to cause us problems. By living in the present moment and not focusing on the past or the future, we can truly experience what is happening now. Finding balance is a priority. If we follow these steps and focus on developing a present mind, we can experience enlightenment.